Joshua remained near the place where the presence of the Most High was being sought. He was not only learning military strategy, he was learning the importance of staying close to the Most High. That is something worth paying attention to in any man. Does he only want the position, or does he desire the presence of the Most High? Does he want to be viewed as a leader, or is he willing to spend time being taught, corrected, and prepared? Check out purposelyhere.com, where you will find my self-published book. Purposelyhere.com also has exclusive merchandise for men, women, and kids. Purposelyhere.com is also available on your mobile devices. Stay tuned and enjoy the video. Welcome back. Today we are continuing our Great Men of Scripture series with Joshua, a man known for courage, obedience, and leadership. But Joshua did not begin as the leader of Israel. Before he ever stood in front of the people, he spent years serving behind the scenes. Before he gave commands, he learned how to follow. Before the Most High trusted Joshua to lead his people, Joshua proved that he could faithfully serve the man who had been placed over him. And that is where I want us to begin, because Joshua's life teaches us that godly leadership is not simply about being strong, confident, or able to take control. A righteous man must first be willing to follow the Most High. Joshua first appears in Scripture during Israel's journey through the wilderness. When Amalek came against Israel, Moses told Joshua to choose men and go out to fight. Exodus 17:10 says, "So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek." Joshua did not argue. He did not try to create his own plan. He received instruction and carried it out. While Joshua fought in the valley, Moses stood on the hill with the rod of the Most High in his hand. As long as Moses held up his hands, Israel prevailed. When his hands became heavy and began to fall, Amalek prevailed. This victory required both leadership and cooperation. Moses had a role. Aaron and Hur had a role. Joshua had a role. Joshua's willingness to serve faithfully in his assigned position was part of what brought victory to Israel. My future wives, do not overlook a man simply because he is not always the right one standing in the spotlight. Joshua was being prepared long before the entire nation recognized him as a leader. Pay attention to how a man serves before he is given authority. Can he receive instruction? Can he work with others? Can he remain committed when someone else is receiving the recognition? A man who cannot follow righteous leadership may not be prepared to provide righteous leadership. Joshua continued serving Moses throughout Israel's time in the wilderness. Exodus 24:13 refers to Joshua as Moses' minister. When Moses went up into the mountain to receive the commandments from the Most High, Joshua went with him part of the way. When Moses entered the tabernacle, Joshua remained nearby. Exodus 33:11 says, "And Yahweh spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp. But his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle." Do not rush past that. Joshua remained near the place where the presence of the Most High was being sought. He was not only learning military strategy, he was learning the importance of staying close to the Most High. That is something worth paying attention to in any man. Does he only want the position, or does he desire the presence of the Most High? Does he want to be viewed as a leader, or is he willing to spend time being taught, corrected, and prepared? There are men who want the authority of Moses without first developing faithfulness of Joshua. But Scripture shows us that leadership is often formed quietly. Joshua's courage was tested again when Moses sent 12 men to spy out the land of Canaan. The Most High had promised this land to Israel. All 12 spies saw the same land. They saw that it was fruitful. They saw the strong cities. They saw the people living there. They saw the giants, but they did not all respond the same. 10 of the spies returned with fear. They focused on the obstacles and convinced the people that entering the land would be impossible. Joshua and Caleb saw the same obstacles, but they remembered the promise of the Most High. Numbers 14:6-9 says, "And Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes. And they spoke unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, The land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. If Yahweh delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against Yahweh, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and Yahweh is with us. Fear them not." Joshua was not pretending the giants did not exist. Faith does not require us to deny what is standing in front of us. Joshua simply believed that the giants were not greater than the Most High. Think about the type of courage this required. Joshua and Caleb stood against the report of 10 other men. They stood against the fear spreading throughout the congregation. They stood with the Most High even when the majority disagreed. For those praying for a godly husband, pay attention to this kind of courage. It is easy for a man to stand firm when everyone around him agrees. But can he remain obedient when the crowd is moving in the opposite direction? Can he make the righteous decision when it is unpopular? Can he say, "The Most High has spoken, and that is enough for me," even when others are ruled by fear? Joshua's confidence was not rooted in himself. He was not saying, "We are strong enough." He was saying, "Yahweh is with us." That is the important difference. A man can appear confident and still be led by pride. Joshua's confidence came from knowing who stood with Israel. Because the people refused to believe the Most High, that generation wandered in the wilderness until they died. Joshua and Caleb were the only two men from that group who were permitted to enter the promised land. Years passed. Joshua continued serving. Then the day came when Moses died. Joshua was now responsible for leading Israel. Imagine the weight of that responsibility. Moses had led the people out of Egypt. He had stood before Pharaoh. He had stretched out his hand over the Red Sea. He had spoken with the Most High on Mount Sinai. Now, Joshua was expected to lead the nation after him. The Most High knew Joshua needed encouragement. Joshua 1:5-7 says, "There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life, as I was with Moses. So I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law." The Most High repeatedly told Joshua to be strong and courageous. That tells us courage does not always mean a person feels no fear. Sometimes courage means obeying while recognizing the seriousness of what is ahead. Joshua was not being told to trust his own ability. He was being told to trust the presence, promises, and commandments of the Most High. Notice that Joshua's success was connected to obedience. Joshua 1:8 says, "This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein." Joshua was preparing to lead battles, divide land, and govern a nation, yet the Most High directed his attention to the law. Why? Because a man cannot properly lead the people of the Most High while ignoring the instructions of the Most High. Leadership without obedience becomes pride. Strength without righteousness becomes dangerous. My sisters, this is why we cannot measure a man's ability to lead only by how assertive he is. Being loud is not the same as being strong. Being controlling is not the same as being a leader. A godly leader must also be submitted. Joshua could command Israel because Joshua was first under the command of the Most High. Soon, Israel came to the Jordan. The river stood between them and the land they had been promised. Once again, the Most High required the people to move forward in faith. The priests carrying the ark had to step into the water before the river parted. Joshua gave the instruction, and the people crossed on dry ground. After they crossed, Joshua commanded 12 stones to be taken from the river and set up as a memorial. He wanted future generations to ask what those stones meant. Joshua 4:21 through 22 says, "And he spoke unto the children of Israel, saying, When your children shall ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean these stones? Then ye shall let your children know, saying, Israel came over this Jordan on dry land." Joshua understood that leadership was not only about accomplishing something in the present, it was also about teaching the next generation to remember what the Most High had done. That is another quality worth recognizing. A righteous man should not only be concerned with what benefits him, he should care about what is being established for his household and the generation that comes after him. Does he remember the works of the Most High? Does he teach his children? Does he create a home where obedience, gratitude, and remembrance are practiced? A man may be able to provide material things, but spiritual leadership requires him to point his household back to the Most High. Israel's first major battle in Canaan was at Jericho. The city was strongly fortified, but the instructions the Most High gave Joshua were unusual. The men of war were to march around the city once a day for 6 days. On the seventh day, they were to march around it 7 times. The priests would blow the trumpets, the people would shout, and the walls would fall. From a human perspective, marching around a wall did not seem like a military strategy. But Joshua obeyed. He did not change the instruction to make them appear more reasonable. He did not add his own idea. He followed what the Most High had commanded, and the walls fell. Joshua's victory came through obedience, not human wisdom. This is something my future wives should remember. A man does not need to have every answer within him. He needs enough humility to seek the Most High and enough discipline to obey what he receives. There will be moments in marriage and family life when the path forward is not obvious. You want a man who does not simply react from pride, anger, or fear. You want a man who is willing to pause, seek wisdom, and follow the Most High, even when his way is different from what the world recommends. Before we continue, take a moment to like this video, share with another woman who would benefit from this message, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Your support helps these teachings reach more women who desire to understand righteous character according to the scriptures. After the victory at Jericho, Israel faced a smaller city of Ai. This time, Israel was defeated. Joshua fell on his face before the Most High, confused about what had happened. The Most High revealed that sin was present in the camp. Achan had taken items from Jericho that Israel had been commanded not to take. Joshua did not ignore the problem simply because confronting it would be uncomfortable. He addressed it. This shows another side of leadership. A leader cannot celebrate victories while refusing to confront wrongdoing. Joshua had to protect the integrity of the entire nation. For every woman watching, consider how a man responds when something is wrong. Does he avoid difficult conversations? Does he make excuses? Does he hide problems to protect his image? Or is he willing to address sin, accept responsibility, and restore order? Leadership is not about making people feel secure. Sometimes leadership requires correction, but correction must remain under the authority of the Most High, not under controlled emotions of a man. Joshua continued leading Israel through battle after battle. The Most High gave them victory over their enemies and allowed Joshua to divide the land among the tribes. The young servant who had once stood beside Moses and became the established leader of Israel. But Joshua's greatness was not simply found in the battle he won. It was found in consistency. He followed Moses faithfully. He stood against the fearful spies. He received the responsibility placed upon him. He obeyed the Most High at the Jordan. He followed instruction at Jericho. He confronted sin at Ai. He remained committed to his calling until he was old. Near the end of his life, Joshua gathered the tribes of Israel together. He reminded them of everything the Most High had done. He reminded them that Abraham had been called out, that Israel had been delivered from Egypt, that the Red Sea had been opened, that their enemies had been defeated, that they had received cities that they did not build and vineyards they did not plant. Then Joshua gave the people a choice. Joshua 24:14 through 15 says, "Now therefore fear Yahweh and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye Yahweh. And if it seem evil unto you to serve Yahweh, choose you this day whom ye will serve." Then Joshua made one of the strongest declarations of leadership found in Scripture. "But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh." Joshua did not say, "My house will serve Yahweh while I live, however I please." He said, "As for me and my house." He placed himself under the same standard he declared for his household. That is spiritual leadership. A righteous man does not simply demand obedience from those around him. He sets the example. He does not send his family toward the Most High while walking in another direction. He establishes the direction of his home by first settling the matter within his own heart. For those who desire marriage, this is the type of declaration that should matter. Not merely a man saying he believes in the Most High, not a man using spiritual language when it is convenient, but a man whose life demonstrates that serving the Most High is a settled decision. Joshua's statement was not based on what the rest of Israel chose. He told them to choose whom they would serve, but his own decision had already been made. That is conviction. A household needs a man who is not constantly being pulled in every direction by the opinions of others. A man who values change depending on the people around him cannot provide steady leadership. Joshua stood firm. "As for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh." As we close, Joshua teaches us that righteous leadership is developed through service, obedience, courage, and consistency. He did not become a leader because he wanted power. He became a great leader because he spent years faithfully following. He did not ignore the giants. He trusted that the Most High was greater. He did not lead Israel through his own wisdom. He remained connected to the law of the Most High. He did not only speak about what his household should do, he included himself in the commitment. My future wives, do not be impressed by a man simply because he knows how to take control. Ask whether he knows how to submit to the Most High. Do not only listen to what he says he will lead. Look at where his own life is already going. Does he have courage when righteousness is unpopular? Can he remain faithful when no one is praising him? Does he accept correction? Does he seek wisdom? Does he desire to establish a household that serves the Most High? Joshua's life reminds us that the strongest leaders are not men who depend only on themselves. They are men who understand that without the Most High, they cannot properly lead anyone. Thank you for joining me for another teaching in our Great Men of Scripture series. I pray Joshua's example gave you a clearer understanding of courage, preparation, and spiritual leadership. Continue searching the Scriptures, continue growing in wisdom, and continuing to allow the Most High to shape what you recognize and value in a man. And until next time, you all be safe. Make sure you check out my website, purposelyhere.com, where you can find my self-published books. Until next time, you all be safe and peace.